So sew me babes, here are a couple tools that you will need to achieve this pattern making. You're going to need scissors, you're going to need a ruler, you're going to need a pencil, measuring tape, and two things that I'm using that are optional is a paper reading my measuring tape and the measurements it has, as well as a marker so you guys can see the lines a little bit more better when I am drawing them out. So now let's get into our pattern paper, which you will also need. So you're going to cut it out wide enough to have two pieces to put on fold. If not, you could just cut two pieces out, but I just do that method to fold over because it's easier and faster. And one reason you'll need two pieces is because you'll need one piece for the front and one piece for the back. I also use this method when it comes to cutting fabric. Now we are just going to start by prepping our paper. I always do this, which is just drawing a straight line down and a straight line across. I've always done this ever since I started learning how to make patterns. But if you have a raw finished cut, by all means, you really don't have to. But the first step we are going to get into is the neckline. So usually that is 3 by 3, 3 inches wide, 3 inches long. So I'm just marking it 3 inches wide, as you can see right there. And then I'm going to move on to marking 3 inches down in length. After you place your mark, you are going to want to make a curve, which I'm using one of my measuring tools here. Some people use a pattern master, but if you don't have neither one of those, you can take something in your house that is curved to give you that curve to make sure you get from point to point, and or you can take your time and sketch from point to point. The next step, we are going to draw 5 inches away and mark 1 inch down from that point. So where you see me marking 1 inch down, we're going to connect that 1 inch to where our 3 inch mark is for the neck. So you'll see me draw it right now on a slant. And this is pertaining to your shoulder, because your shoulder ain't straight across now. I will hope it's not, but it has a little slant to it. So after that, we are then going to get started with our measurements, which you'll need your bust, waist, and hips. So listen to this: 10, 6, 8. 10 inches down is your bust. 6 inches from your bust is your waist. And 8 inches, right, from your waist is your hip. So 10, 6, 8. After marking your measurements down, you are going to draw straight lines across for each one. So a straight line there, straight line there, straight line there, horizontally. After you get finished drawing in those lines, we're just going to do a little bit of math, okay? Albert Einstein for them. So what you are going to do is divide your bust by 4, your waist by 4, and your hip measurements by 4. Once you do that, you are going to go ahead and mark on the line for each appropriate measurement. As you can see, I've already have displayed the mathematical equations for that. So just go ahead, take your time, and do you. After you finish drawing in your measurements, you want to connect them each by a line, as you can see me doing here. And your body is not on no sharp curve like that, so you will need to make it kind of curvy, which I will show you just momentarily. But make sure those lines connect with each other. And I'm just going over it with a marker so you can see more in depth of what I'm talking about. Here we're just making just a little curve. okay? Because your body is not pointy. And after we have done that, we are going to go ahead and do another bust measurement, which will be your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. After you get that, you will draw a straight line down to where you marked it. And make sure you hit that marker that you marked it where you marked it at. And then you are going to draw a line across, and that is going to be your upper chest. And make sure you finish off by drawing the line all the way down. From that line, you are going to add 1 inch. Once you add that 1 inch, you're just going to connect it. And you're going to connect it to the bust point. And that just gives you a little bit of ease. Following suit, we are going to find the midpoint of that line that we just drew. So to find the midpoint, all you got to do is flip that measuring tape over to the middle, okay? Draw in where the marker is. And that is how we are going to make a curve for our arm area. Then you are going to go inward 1.5 centimeters. So the centimeters are the really, really little lines, and majority of the time that's on the back of where the inches are. So the inches are in the front, centimeters on the back. So just flip that thing over and go in approximately 1.5 centimeters, as you can see. And that is where we will connect the curve. Now, for those of you who don't have a pattern master yet or anything curvy as of such, this is what I mean by literally just taking your time and shading it in to get the curve. And now I'm going to go over that with a marker. Now, this is just for our front, but I'm confident in you that for the back neckline, it's only 3 inches by 1. So remember, 3 inches wide, 1 inch in depth. I'm confident that you can do this. But if you need me to demonstrate and show you, I most certainly will. But right now, we are just going to cut our paper. We did not add any seam allowance to this. So that's why you see me and I'm not adding on anything extra, or I didn't add anything extra to my inches. And a lot of time when you're working with stretchy fabric, you want it to fit you nice, right, and tight. Well, not too tight, right? But you want it to fit you nice and right. So a lot of times people don't add seam allowance, or sometimes they end up taking away seam allowance. Now for the back area, you're literally, the back line for your armhole is shallow. So that was just literally a line connecting the two, one side to another side. And if you did not draw that neckline in, all you have to do, literally as you see me do, connect the lines to the lines and draw that neckline in 3 by 1. I'm doing is perfecting that little curvy curve. After that, we are literally going to cut the back fabric so you can now have 2 pieces. So I usually label front FA1 and back BA2. You did it, so me, babe.